good evening. Today I'd like to discuss the concept of a truth teller in a couple different perspectives. The first is in psychology. I listened to a video by Dr. Ramani, who has a channel here on YouTube, where she used this term to describe a child in a narcissistic family dynamic. This is where one or both of the parents are narcissists, and as a result, it can create complicated dynamics within the home. Within a narcissistic family, there is often a truth teller who can essentially see through the narcissistic behavior and may try to call out the family or the narcissistic person, but that is not normally received very well by that person or the family. They end up making this person the scapegoat, which is the person that they tend to pick on more and consider like a failure. And they just project all of these negative characteristics onto this child because the child sees through them. This reminds me of a concept in spirituality where more evolved souls are typically born into tougher family dynamics in order to essentially heal the bloodline and break these karmic cycles. Even in families that don't necessarily have a narcissistic family dynamic, there still could be these unhealthy dynamics that the child tends to see through, and they recognize that it's not right. This can be about how the family is relating to each other, treating each other, communicating, expressing themselves, or how they choose to parent or punish the children. They recognize unhealthy, toxic, or manipulative dynamics within the family. They do this naturally instead of embodying those characteristics themselves. You can see this difference sometimes in the family where the siblings of the scapegoat begin to copy the parent's behavior, and they then embody these narcissistic and toxic traits themselves. If they don't do so in childhood, they may end up recreating it later in life into adulthood. Sometimes narcissistic siblings were always like that, but sometimes it doesn't come out until later in life. What ends up happening by becoming the scapegoat is that they end up being silenced and rejected by the narcissistic people or even the whole family. This is also why they can end up as loners or spend a lot more time in isolation. They recognize how different they are from their family, and this truth can be very isolating. This then creates more fuel for the family because they don't like that this person is trying to avoid them. These scapegoats often feel greatly misunderstood. Oftentimes, the scapegoat tries to leave the home as soon as possible in order to escape the abuse and dysfunction. The truth tellers are able to transmute the shadows and karmic elements of the family instead of taking them on themselves and repeating them with other people or people in their own family, their own children. They break those family curses when they choose love for themselves and with other people. These people, as adults, tend to go into healing professions where they can share their wisdom and firsthand experience as they are familiar with these behaviors. They tend to be interested in spiritual healing, counseling, psychology, social work, or any career in which they can be helpful and healing towards other people. That can be part of the reason that they went through this experience. They can go through difficulty at a young age so that they can grow up and end up helping people deal with the same things that they personally have had to overcome themselves. These tough family dynamics can be great teachers for awareness, compassion, and forgiveness. I will put in the description a few videos that I liked that relate to this topic. The first one being the video that Dr. Ramani discusses, and a couple other videos, one about karma relating to the mother and karma relating to the father, which I think can help people understand why they are born into these types of dynamics. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Lily. Stay frosty. Bye bye.